he has been in the NFL 5 different teams, and yet he's productive with all of them. Kyle Van Noy, 11 years, a 2-time Super Bowl champ, both for the Patriots. So this is interesting. Let's start with this. Do you watch, Kyle, free agency?
I mean, the first thing I'm going to say is yes, because we saw Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, what they just got, right? They're in our division. We have to watch that. I mean, That's amazing that they got those deals done up there, and at the amount that they did, they went all in on offense. So it was pretty crazy for a team to do it, but I'm happy for them. I got to spend some time with Jamar Chase at the Pro Bowl and Joe Burrow. Two very extraordinary young men in this game that are just going to grow even more. Just two really good dudes at what they do with their craft, and so I'm happy for them to get their money, but not happy when we have to play them twice a year.
Well, it's interesting because I talked to you a year ago. I think it was before you signed with the Ravens. You ended up 12.5 sacks, made your first Pro Bowl.
Let's go.
So it's interesting. That's not the way it usually works. As you get older, yet you – so I'm going to say some of this, obviously a lot to you, but some of it had to be fit.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, I think a little bit it is about fit, but I also more think it's about mindset. My mindset's different. I believe that every day when I wake up, it's different. It's kind of our family motto with my wife and I. We're just built different. And that's the attitude that I brought into that building. I felt that I was a little disrespected by not getting any offers during that offseason. I feel like I perform at a high level my entire career, and then for nobody want to come after me, I was like, man, just because I turned over 30, you're going to say, oh, he's old now, he's washed. But then when I got on the football field, it was the right fit. Chuck Smith, Coach Harbaugh really just kind of let me do my thing, really put that leadership role on me, and I was able to not think with Mike Mack, and now I don't have to think with Zachary Orr. They do a really good job to put me in positions to succeed, and I've really taken off. I play with a bunch of really good players like Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, Nnamdi Madubuike, and then Odafe Owe. And we just do our thing together, and I'm really grateful to be with the group. The core group that they have is something I haven't been around in the league, to be honest, and they're special. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Tyler Lindenbaum.
Did you know?
Special.
Did you know in camp when you guys acquired Derrick Henry, could you tell in camp, oh, this is going to be a load?
I don't know if I want to say that, Colin, but I thought they were going to be really good. I thought the way that they were operating, the way that the offensive coordinator was calling plays during fall camp, you knew it was going to be a work in progress, right?
Right.
We saw the first game where people were a little unhappy against Kansas City at the time, but then it took off from there, and we really relied on both of them. And one thing I'll say about that duo is it was the first time I believe that they both played with superstars, and they elevated each other because they knew they didn't have to do everything. But at the same time, when it was their time to shine, they took it up another level. And so that's something that I watched during the season. It was awesome. The leadership that Derrick Henry brings, the attitude he brings is exceptional. It exudes through the entire building. Everybody, likes to be around those two. And Lamar Jackson is the best teammate. He hangs out with everybody.
He does.
He knows everybody's name. He's a joy to be in the locker room. We know you talk very highly of him, and I'm sure he appreciates that. You're one of his big cheerleaders in the media, even though he's had, his downs in the playoffs. But I think that's part of his journey. I think that's part of the struggle that he's had just a little bit. I also think it's going to propel him. And the Lamar Jackson that I know, that I see every day, it's going to fuel him and get him better and better and better. We've seen just a little bit. I think he's got a whole nother level to go.
Yeah, I've said this. There's a lot of quarterbacks in the league. There's not a single quarterback that defines the city and the team like Lamar. I love Mahomes, but that's as much Andy Reid as anybody.
Yeah, you could make that argument, yeah.
Yeah, I would, and by the way, I love Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. I honestly feel if I would have picked a culture and a city for Lamar Jackson to play in, it would have been always overlooked, often disrespected, tough, gritty Baltimore.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like you've played with great quarterbacks that the fact that he knows everybody's name, that's kind of a Brady thing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Tom was the first person that I met when I got traded to New England, came up to me, shook my hand and said, "My name's Tom Brady." And I wanted to be like, "You idiot, I know who you are." Tom's great. He's a great teammate of yours now at Fox, doing a great job speaking at games. I do think Lamar has that. I also think he has a different aura as well because of the play he has. He has that highlight reel play. So it's a different, he does Madden plays. Tom, he's the pocket passer, rhythm passer, does everything great mentally, all that. Lamar can just show up and play.
Right.
And that's different. Nobody can do that. Only he can do that. And it's so impressive to watch. They're two complete different players. I'm so grateful that I got to play with both of them because Tommy Boy gave me 2 rings. So I'm forever grateful to Big Bro.
So it's funny. So I just love the Ravens so much. Funny story that and I don't like calling teams for free tickets.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. I don't want to owe anybody anything. I got that from my mom. So I called the Ravens, and my daughter was in Baltimore. And I said, oh, God. So I called the Ravens. I said, I'll pay for them. I don't like asking for tickets. They're like, it's fine. And they sat my daughter right next to Joe Burrow's parents.
Yeah.
Thank God I'd been nice to Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
But it's such a class organization. What is it about Harbaugh?
Yeah.
The secret sauce, like he's kind of a man's man.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I look at John, it's always like if you do your job, he will treat you. He just expects you to be a pro.
Yep. I want to start where you just went with the organization.
Yeah.
Mr. Bisciotti.
Yeah.
Amazing owner. One of the best I've been around, top down, loves football, wants the team to win, but he pours money into the organization. Yep. He gives everybody, that A1 treatment. It doesn't matter who you are in the building. He does a phenomenal job. So I do have to commend him for that. And I'm glad you had a great experience with him, but it starts with him. And then with John Harbaugh, I just believe for him, what separates him is his relationships to players. He truly cares about what you think and how you see things. And he literally goes up to anybody and will ask, and he takes tidbits from everybody and he puts it into his program. He doesn't just focus on, his way or the highway. He adjusts. That's why he's lasted so long. It's an adapt or die mentality. If you stay the same for so long, you're not going to improve. You're not going to get better. You're not going to keep this excellence. That's what I see the difference between him is that mentality to always get better each and every year and the trust that he has with his players and the relationship. He's a relationship guy. He's a tough guy. He likes to get after it in the weight room himself every single day at 5 o'clock. He's in that weight room, and that's the kind of attitude he has without the same day, and he has that standard for everybody, that standard of excellence.
We're going into an NFL draft, and one of the things about football, Matt Slater's a guy you played with in New England, like 19 years or something in the NFL. Yeah. So much of what you bring when I listen to you talk is about professionalism, okay? And if you could sit down with young football players and just say, listen, I'm going to give you 2 things about pro football. Okay, you didn't go to a football factory, though BYU's a great school. Yeah. It's a really good program.
It is.
And they've done a great job through the years of getting players ready for pro football. And, again, a school that has adults.
I mean, we got good ones, Puka. We got Fred Warner.
Oh, I know. Woo. No, it's always delivered NFL quality guys. Good program. What would you tell a young guy? I'm a linebacker. I'm from Texas A&M. That's 4-star. What would be the 2 things you'd say, okay, young man, here's the difference with pro football?
Oh, man. Listen, you don't know everything. And 2, put your head down and work. And I mean, work smart and hard. Those are the 2 things I would say. I would say, listen to your OGs, listen to what's happening around, scope it out, and work hard. Put your head down and work smartly. And you put those 2 together, I think you'll be really successful. I think too many guys come in with the mindset they know it all, which some of them do know a lot. But I think there are some players that have played a really long time. There's coaches that have coached a really long time. So you should listen. You should listen to the players. You should see how professional players, this guy works, this guy, how he handles his business. And then the smart work of, you've already put in the work to get here. Continue to do that, but add stuff to that. That's where that smart comes in. Add this to your game. Okay, that guy's doing a little extra work. I'm going to put that into my game. That guy's on the jugs a little bit more. I'm going to put that in my game. Something that Julian Edelman did was he paid a equipment guy at our facility in New England, and he would pay him every year to shoot extra jugs at him, and he would catch so many balls each and every day. I know Zay Flowers does the same thing in Baltimore. So there's different nuggets that you can see if you just watch. Something I picked up for when I was a professional as a rookie was Calvin Johnson, an amazing superstar receiver. He did conditioning in the morning. And so my ass did conditioning in the morning. Him, Coach Caldwell, myself, I just watched. I didn't play as much as I did, but I knew that once I did with the preparation that I had, learning from Calvin Johnson, learning from Rasheed Mathis, the study he did, the Glover Quinns asking all the questions that he did. Over the years, I knew when I was going to get my shot. I knew I was going to be ready. And I think just being able to listen, just being able to put that head down and work smartly helped me become the professional that I am today.
As you get older, again, you're a Pro Bowler, 12 and a half sacks. Let's say it's November. You're in week 10, 11. You're banged up. You have a little bit of a semi-high ankle sprain.
Do I have a bye week or I already had it?
Nope. Already had it.
Okay, bummer.
And you're you can play, but you're dinged up. Have you found your diet has changed since your rookie year?
Oh, yeah.
And let's talk about that. So what do you do? Let's talk in season, because we all know by Thanksgiving, everybody's beat up.
Yeah.
And it's not like just I'm a little tired. It's I hurt in multiple places.
Yeah.
How has it changed your diet and prep?
That's a really good question. I think it's funny. I even change it in the off season. For example, I heard you being a big health guy earlier, magnesium. That's awesome for you. Something I just did was a 72-hour water fast. I didn't eat for 72 hours. I just did straight water just to get my system flushed out and just feel good. And it was hard for the first 2 days. And then that third day, it was like clarity. It was like spiritual experience. It was amazing. But it was just a reset on my body, just to get all the gunk that I had. I went to a family vacation in Maui. I ate very good, but I wanted to reset to get ready for this season. And I literally start from the ground up, just like I did with my body. I work with my feet and go all the way up to my head. And I do the same thing with my diet. I start from the ground of, doing this 72-hour water fast, and then it's like, okay, we're on this eating healthy path, and it's a lot of meat and vegetables. That's basically it. I don't like to do carbs until the day of the game because that helps you fuel you, but I really stay away from carbs during the season to feel good, feel light, and then before the game, I'll put on a couple extra pounds to get it going.
Is there a team in the league that you just can't hide your disdain for them? Like when you play them, like you just...
They know it. Those teams know it. They know. The Buffalo Bills, they know. I played them all those years. Deion Dawkins, Josh Allen, they know.
You play them angry.
Yeah. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, he knows. Him and Travis Kelce. And then recently it's been the Steelers. And I don't think it's more so the Steelers players. They're relatively good. A couple of them, but it's been more the coaches. Like it's stuff on the sideline that no one gets to see, that the Mike Dubs haven't picked up. The coaches.
Trash talking?
Yeah. Especially like it's a competitive game, right? And I love trash talking, but all those games have been close. It hasn't been like we've whooped you, or
those games are always close.
Yeah, the new phrase is people say belt to ass, like that's kind of the new phrase, but that's when someone gets really beat, right? And for us, like they've been in competitive games. I feel like it hasn't been Tomlin, it's been the other coaches around have been kind of talking a little trash, and so the disdain's getting back with that Pittsburgh Ravens rivalry. I feel like it wasn't there when I first got to the Ravens. It's been mostly the Cincinnati Bengals and us. And I feel like it's going back to that Ravens-Steelers rivalry that we've been so accustomed to.
Who is, and it could be one of your teammates, in all the years in the NFL, could be Logan Mankins, I don't know. What is there an offensive lineman that's coming around the corner and you know it is 2 hours in the gym, like somebody that you have so much respect for.
Yeah.
Even the night before, you're like, or on that trap play.
Yeah. It's funny you say this. It's actually a member of the soon-to-be Hall of Fame, should be, from the Ravens and Ring of Honor for the Ravens, Marshall Yanda. Yeah. Me and Hightower would talk about him. Because back when we were playing in New England, we played open B-gaps, which means you get an end, and then you get a traditional nose guard, and then there's an open B-gap, which is the guard.
Right.
And then it's you. So it's one-on-one with Marshall Yanda. You're about to have a long day with him. That was somebody that I always respected.
Hands, physicality.
Yeah, he was physical and strong, and he wasn't afraid of nobody. Like, you had to bring it every play. And playing against him and Osemele when he was with the Raiders with Gabe Jackson, when they had an older Marshawn Lynch. Yeah, Osemele, who also played for the Ravens, he was so strong. Oh, just mean. You had to, tell him, hey, you're playing great this season. Yeah, you're playing so good. Just take it easy on this play.
So that's when you respect the guy.
Yeah, those two players I had a lot of respect for. And then Zach Martin, played him in. It wasn't a physical standpoint that you were like, it's going to be a long day. But it was more of, he's a great football player. He's going to be ready to go. He knows what he's doing, and he's fast, and he's strong, and he's not overpowering you. He's just quick. He's kind of
technician?
Technician, just like Jason Kelce was, just like Alex Mack was. I remember getting ready for him for the Super Bowl back in 2016 in New England, and how fast he was able to climb up on the backers to run and cut him off on his cut blocks. Those guys, not necessarily brute force, but those guys, technician-wise, those three were really, really good at their craft.
By the way, it should be noted that the two most physical guys you mentioned played for the Ravens.
Yes, they did.
That is always, that's always been their culture.
Yes.
Harbaugh's love tough guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
He does. And that guy that's the toughness guy for us, the two guys that jump off is Travis Jones and Nnamdi Madubuike. Those two are a force in the interior D-line. They're up and coming. Their ability, their arrow is pointing very, very up of both their careers.
What a pleasure to see you again, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love being here. I love watching you and doing your thing. LA's going to miss you, so appreciate you doing everything that you've done, and not just this community. I know you're here still for a while. I know you're going to Chicago, but we appreciate you.
By the way, BYU's a number 6 seed. They shoot a lot of threes.
They should have been higher, but, SEC, they got to get their glory, right?
Yeah. But
the thing about Brigham that I'm going to say is you better watch out. They shoot a lot of threes. They make a lot of threes.
You're buddies with Jimmer.
I am buddy with Jimmer. Jimmer, he led us almost to the promised land, did a really, really good job. I think we have another phenomenal player in Richie Saunders, who is all Big 12 this year. Just an underrated Big 12. I know you weren't necessarily hot on Arizona, but I feel like
them going to the Final Four.
Oh, you do. You were hot. Dark horse. I apologize.
So they're my dark horse.
Yes, Caleb Love, very, very good.
The center, Vaser, he was nothing early. He's played well now.
Correct. They're very good. I like Texas Tech. They're tough.
That's his dark horse.
Great pick. Houston, if they can shoot it well, I'm very high on them. That's a big if, though, because they do play defense. They do play phenomenal defense.
They're like Michigan State. Not a lot of shooters. But
they're coming alive. In the Big 12 tournament, they shot really, really well. I'm very excited to see what the Big 12 does. I feel like they've been underrated, just like their football programs were during the bowl season. I think they're going to do the same thing in this tournament. I really, really like the Big 12, the teams that they have. They're tough. They're physical. They play that style. The referees let them play down there. But BYU, their shooting ability, if they get hot, I'd be scared if I'm anybody in the tournament because they're putting up 90 points, and you're like, well, I got to guard this guy, but this guy over here can shoot. And I really want to put a lot of pressure on Igor Demon. I know he's a freshman, but he's not a freshman anymore.
Don't they have some great recruit coming next year?
Yes, they do. AJ. #1 basketball player in the country. He I'm not positive. I think he's from Boston area.
And he chose BYU.
Yes.
Is he LDS?
I don't believe he's LDS, but he might as well be, right?
Why not?
That checks LDS. No, I'm just kidding. But I think it's phenomenal. I think it's going through all the sports there at BYU. I think it's been a shift in guard.
Well, they've always had money.
They have. It's secretly they've had a lot of money.
The church has money.
Yes, they do. But it's not even the church is dimmying out. I think the donors and the boosters are the one providing all the money. When you have a guy that owns the Utah Jazz and Ryan Smith,
yep.
You have Danny Ainge, who's also happened with Utah Jazz when they're heavily involved. I just played with the #1, one of the top golfer recruits the other day, Kihei. He was getting offers from Alabama and Oklahoma State. He ended up chose BYU to stay close to home, but because of that group of boosters and donors that are bringing in not only money, but that respect of, hey, I can help you get to that next level. That's who you want to be with. And I'm starting to get involved a little bit more. I would like to kind of not be all the way in like Steph Curry is, but be able to help young men be able to say, hey, if you do those things, you can be a pro and get to that next level. I think that's awesome what Steph Curry's doing with his former college.
Yep.
Yes.
Kyle Van Noy, great seeing you, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you.